Thanks for everybody. Starting our session 1 and 2 discussion panel with our presenters. Again, thank you for everyone for submitting your questions, and we've got a good set to discuss. So jumping right into it, we have an interesting question about our India office. And so in the FDA has an office in India, and the question is, do FDA personnel in India conduct FDA inspections? So Mei, would you like to answer that?
So would you mind to say which question?
This is, we have the FDA India office.
Oh, okay. So before I answer the question, can I say the disclaimer is still usable right now? So all the answer is on my own, not represent FDA's policy. Okay, so if that works, so I would like to answer this question. So the question is, what is the purpose of FDA office in India, and does FDA personnel conduct FDA inspection in India? Yes, we do. FDA do have Indian office, so there are inspectors present on site when we conduct the inspection in India. Meanwhile, our OSIS reviewers also travel to India to conduct the inspection on site. Thank you.
Thank you.
And,
Mike, you wanted to add anything?
Yeah, the second part of the question talks about, does the MHRA have an office in India? No, we don't. Our inspectors travel from the UK to wherever the bioequivalence site is located.
Excellent, thank you. Okay, well, we have another question for, I think, for Mei from your presentation. If you can you just clarify the differences between the RIE, the RR, and the RRA acronyms we've been
yes, for this question, I will have to defer to FDA guidance because we understand there are several names have been used for remote. So guidance already have very clear description regarding those names and the function. Thank you.
All right. Now, here's a question I think, Cynthia, maybe you could take. A question about the performance of RRAs, and is it performed, what time within the BA/BE study conduct do the RRAs get performed?
Thanks, Zhang. That's a great question. Usually we would perform the RAs for inspections after the completion of the study, and the sponsor or applicant submitted the application to the FDA. However, during the RA or inspections, sometimes if the study was conducted, let's say 10, 15 years ago, we would also like to have a look of the firm's current practice. So we usually require or request like a master list of the BAB studies conducted during the past 5 years. And sometimes we would pick some more recent studies, sometimes even ongoing BAB studies, to evaluate the firm's current general practice of bioanalysis. So I think that helps.
Thank you, Cynthia. Any additions from our other panelists? All right. Now, here's a question about remotes in general, and we've discussed how they're voluntary, but what happens if a site refuses? Sort of a question for everybody. Anyone have a thought to share there? What are the consequences?
I think if I start off from an MHRA perspective, obviously we will ask the reason that you're refusing. We consider remote, hybrid, and inspections to be inspections on site, sorry. And I think with this question, it's the same as anything else. Our reason for inspecting is there to review the data and ensure it's suitable for an application. It is unlikely to shorten the application's length. It's more likely to prolong it, but we would engage with you at that point.
All right. Thank you, Michael.
Yes, similar to FDA. So if we meet the refusal for the RAs, at that moment, maybe there is no consequence, but FDA still have the authority to issue the inspection. If inspection would not be happen, hypothetically. So the review process could be delayed. So I think that's the consequence we can think of. Thank you.
And I think another example I can think of is some of the sites where they are located is under impossible circumstances for them to host the RA. For example, some experiencing wars or there's some technical difficulties. So in that case, we understand, the difficulty, and we would try to do some remote data audit without the participation of the OSIS staff.
All right, thank you very much. I think, yeah, the message of flexibility and the use of the remote tool really, as needed, is an important one. A question about observations and the inspection reports. Are observations included in inspection reports? I don't know. This is probably for everybody. Mike, do you want to?
So again, just from whether observations are included within inspection reports, yes. So whether it's hybrid, remote, we will incorporate everything into that inspection report and issue it to you, but that's our position. In terms of, we use observations in a slightly different way. So we have observations at the bottom, which may not necessarily be a deficiency. So just in case there's a terminology issue there, they might be things of note during the inspection, which are for your information.
Excellent. Yeah, good distinction. Here's a good one that we hear quite a bit is what's the reason for not issuing 483s with an RRA?
I can answer that because RA is not an inspection. So 483, the full name is Notice of Inspectional Observations. So that is why we don't issue 483 for RAs. Thank you.
All right. Now, question about feedback. How do we, as regulators, or do we accept feedback from a site post a remote? And is there an evaluation form being provided to help sites provide guidance feedback?
Okay, I can answer that. So we do welcome feedback. Currently, every time when we finish the RAs, we provide the email box, which is CDER-OSIS-BEQ@fda.hhs.gov. So we welcome any feedback. And if you have any form you like to use, please also email to us. Thank you.
Yes, please.
So specifically in the idea of a form or template, the MHRA don't make use of one. The one thing I would stress is not to wait till the end of an inspection or a remote observation to raise anything. What your lead inspector should do is try and tweak the inspection to remove any burdensome conditions and work with you. And we do that in real time. So the feedback that I described during my first presentation was related to real-time feedback that we received during the inspection. Equally, we are fully contactable after the inspection, and we will take anything that you just didn't think of at the time but want to let us know.
Thank you. I think that's a really good point, that the more feedback we get, the better the tool can be developed over time. And so it's really important to have your thoughts shared as they come up. Now, regarding remotes and the discussion of virtual tours by video, is it required to have a live tour, or is it okay to have a photo tour or a pre-recorded tour? Anybody want to answer that one?
That's a great question. I would say that the live tour is highly recommended. Especially during the RA, you're welcome to upload the, photos or pre-recorded tour to box.com as you wish. But during the RA, we still hope to see your facility live, because a lot of things could have been changed since the recording of your tour or the photos being taken. And the live one would be, I guess, a better reflection of the current situation of your facility. And that will give us a better idea of how your facility operates. Thank you.
Excellent. Michael, go ahead.
Yep, just to say in terms of, we do receive photo tours, what I would consider a business development video at the start. One of the key things for an inspection is the interaction between the inspection team and the inspectee, and a video tour doesn't allow us that chance for collaboration, discussion and questions. So although you might provide it, we would always insist for a remote inspection that we do a live tour. If that proves cumbersome, then we might move to hybrid.
Excellent, excellent. Now, regarding, again, a question on remotes, and I know this came up in the past sessions yesterday. When do we see remotes being used in the future, past COVID?
I'll say when needed. So we'll still continue using RA as a tool past COVID. Thank you.
Excellent. Michael?
I think Dr. Sellers said yesterday, whenever. And it's true, the remote inspection is a tool. If there's a reason that we want to take a specific look at something, we will make use of that. It's not restricted to COVID. We've spent a lot of time developing these tools, as the colleagues in FDA have. And if it's to answer a specific question, then that might be very well the best way and route to do that.
Excellent, thank you. Let's see. Wrapping up a couple of there's a few more remote questions. One of them is, in terms of, written observations, and as you mentioned, written deficiencies really of a remote following an inspection. In terms of at least the FDA side of things, what's the status on classifications?
Again, because RA is not considered inspection currently, so FDA do not classify the observation. Thank you.
Thank you, Mei. And also, let's see, in terms of in conducting of the remote, what kind of information is asked for from the site?
For the BAB remote RAs conducted by OSIS, we really follow our own SOPs. Usually there will be communication letter 1 going out to the firm, asking if they are willing and able. If they say yes, we will continuously sending out communication letter number 2, which would identify the studies. And we will also include attachment A, which is the detailed list of the requests of the documents. Usually those documents would include, I would say 2 to 3 parts. The first being the general administrative information, like the overview of your firm, your SOP index, your flow plan, your like the list of personnel involved in the studies and their training records, the list of equipment used and their calibration records. And then going on to the study-specific information, we would request for the all raw data. For example, if you use like a hard copy of the lab notebooks, we would like to see those, I don't know, either scanned copy or the electronic copy you already have. And then there would be, for example, the preparation sheets of your calibration standards and QCs, audit trails. And we may also asking for some electronic file, for example, the individual run, the results and acceptance criteria, and your sample repeat. Also the correspondence with the sponsor or clinical sites, if you're an analytical firm. And regarding sample receipt and tracking, handling, chain of custody. In addition, if this is in vitro B study, there will be reserve sample requirements per 320 regulations. So we would asking for information related to the reserve samples for the IP investigational products, and also the storage conditions, again, chain of custody. And any deviations you have documented, or any investigation of failed runs, or justification of repeats. So just a few examples.
Excellent.
Yeah, but if you happen to be selected for RA, you will definitely see more. Thank you.
Thank you, Cynthia. Michael, do you want to add anything from UK's perspective?
The only thing to make a specific reference to, because I think Cynthia's list was very good, was just specifically on the analytical files we request. You will get notification of what that looks like. Traditionally, it's all analytical files associated with method validation, sample analysis, and audit trails that bridge the gap the month before, the month after. So month before validation and the month after sample analysis. But that could be subject to change.
Yes. And that actually leads into questions focused on session 2, is what are the specific software that MHRA holds and uses for review of analytical data?
And this is as of the current time. We're currently looking to install and embed others, but the current list is SciEx Analyst, SciEx OS, Waters Mass Links, and Empower 3. That list is growing. We are looking at seeing what's the most prevalent software within industry. We're looking at adding LBA assays, for example. But yeah, as of this time, that's the current list. But it's fair to say that we have now worked through that process and can add to it.
Excellent, excellent. All right. Now, of course, something that's on everybody's mind is the use of AI. And so one of the questions that we got was, what is the use of AI in bioanalysis as we've seen it, and any thoughts on acceptable, unacceptable uses? Yeah.
So yeah, I can start with this one. In terms of have we seen it, the simple answer is not yet. We are expecting, if you imagine, you can automate certain aspects of whether that's bioanalysis, the run validations, etc., interpretations and integrations. But in terms of what is acceptable and unacceptable use, is we're still very much at the stage of treating it like any other computer system, and the applications that you would see there from a GCP point of view apply here. It's worthwhile mentioning that artificial intelligence is being used broadly as a catch-all term for machine learning, generative AI. So the functionality is key to what it's doing for you. And with anything else computer systems on inspection, we want you to demonstrate that it's fit for intended use, and you can demonstrate that through documentation.
Excellent. Well, I think that is a nice way to wrap up all of the questions that we've received. I want to appreciate and thank all of the panelists again. Thank you for your time and your presentations, and please join me in a little welcome for them. Thank you. Next up, we are going to move on to our BABE clinical session. I think they will be joining us on the stage, and then we will move on. And Jason Wakeland-Smith will be the moderator for the next session. Thank you very much.